In this video, we're going to take up the practice problems on this last page here. There is an answer key that's not a video, but you can also check your answers with this video key here. Make sure you've done the problems first so you can check your work and assess yourself. So here we're basically just going in reverse. We're taking a skeleton equation and turning it into a word equation just for practice. So let's identify our reactants first. Here are the reactants. They're on the left side of the arrow, simply aluminum plus O2. The product is on the right side of the arrow, Al2O3. To write a word equation, we just turn everything into words. So we have aluminum. We simply put a plus. O2 is oxygen. And then Al2O3 is aluminum oxide. It's our ionic naming rules. We'll try the next one. So the reactants on the left side over here are CO2 and H2. The products are CH4, you could say carbon tetrahydride, but I put a note here that it's actually called methane. Now you don't have to write it in words right now, you can write it simply in formulas, and the way later on we'll do words. So CH4 and H2O. So if we write a word equation, we have CO2 is carbon dioxide, H2 is hydrogen, CH4 is methane, so it's being produced, methane, and then H2O is water. There's our word equation. Let's do our last one here. So the last one, the reactants again are on the left side of the arrow. So we have Fe2O3, plus we also have this H2SO4 here. We have our products on the right side, Fe2SO4 3, plus some water. So if we're writing this as a word equation, our first reactant is this iron oxide. Now we didn't learn this yet, but the iron has more than one charge, and the charge of iron used here is iron 3. I would tell you that one on an assessment for now, but iron oxide is fine. H2SO4, once you learn how to name acids, this won't be given to you anymore, but that's sulfuric acid. And they're going to produce some iron sulfate. Again, it's iron 3 sulfate. If you just wrote iron sulfate, you would have been fine. Plus some water. Now I say you would have been fine if you wrote iron sulfate, assuming you didn't not learn about multivalent elements. If you did learn about multivalent elements, the expectation is that you do put iron 3 sulfate. And so in this video, we took up how to convert skeleton equations into word equations, simply working backwards and using your knowledge of the naming rules and formula writing rules to do so. We also identified reactants and products. So as you can see in these problems, you need to know all your rules from before. A good foundation in the early chemistry lessons is very important to continue with skeleton and word equations.